Today, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau introduced legislation to legalize physician-assisted suicide in that country.
This is an issue that personally and deeply touches Canadians in our lives in a way that many public issues don't. This government is focused very much on respecting Canadians' rights, on defending their choices and allowing them choices, while at the same time protecting the most vulnerable in society.
I have received zero letters, zero contact from either Veterans Affairs, either the Government of Canada, nothing. The wait times for somebody to be able to access psychology or social work to help them is minimal 3 years. 3 years! They chose to not give us the tools and the opportunity to be able to live for over 6 years for a wheelchair elevator. From the states of things, I could probably be dead in 2 weeks.
Just to give people an idea of Canada's euthanasia laws and how it impacted you and your story, can you just explain how you came to come up against these laws and what your involvement was in this so-called maid or euthanasia process?
Yeah, well, I served 10 years with Canadian Armed Forces and then 10 years as a para-athlete for Canada. And as I am waiting for medical equipment and an elevator for my house to be able to transfer, it's been over 6 years now. It's still not there. And the agent treating my file told me one day when I told him on the phone that I just couldn't go on anymore. It was just, unbearable, and it's just too hard. And he told me, if you really think you cannot keep going on and you find it's too hard, you have the right to die. So there I am fighting all this time to trying to just get the proper equipment to just want to be able to live a life with the minimal of autonomy and independence. I understand I have still all these limitations, but yeah. So I know also just, my limitations are basically medical, biomechanical disabilities, so of course there's a level of depressedness and anxiety and all this. I just heard last week that I'm actually waiting the news of confirmation that I possibly have a digestive cancer. So
sorry to hear that.
yeah. It's a shock to me before this even waiting time now. I am so close, Stephen, to want to make a test. I would love to test to see if I go and because I will never go this way, ever, regardless how bad it will go. I always had a plan to get out of it. But it will be my plan, and it'll be my decision. Certainly not because I signed a government paper. But I would love to make a challenge of going next week and starting the process to see how long it would take for me to get the granted letter of being able to get made. It's ridiculous because from the states of things, I could probably be dead in 2 weeks. But yet, they chose to not give us the tools and the opportunity to be able to live for over 6 years just for a wheelchair elevator. So yeah, it is a bit ridiculous. Just about this recent news with the cancer, it's been a test that was done in March of 2023 that sat on some doctor's desk and never got revealed or checked on until 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. So, is it going bad enough in Canada, you think?
Can you talk a bit about how it made you feel when that government worker said to you you had the right to die?
I was shocked. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that you just said that. And like I've told him then, I can't believe you're not gonna give me the equipment we need to live, but you're just gonna help us die. Like, what is this? Like, it was, and since then, through everything, since going to a commission of Veterans Affairs, since it's been on various documentaries, I have received zero letters, zero contact from either Veterans Affairs, either the government of Canada, nothing. They were supposed to have done an RCMP law investigation was supposed to have been done. I wasn't ever contacted either on that. So that's just to show how much interest and how much they value what they're doing to people with this. They really just don't care. They just I think they just want to go on with eliminating the mass that is pricey and needy, I guess.
I know you're a Christian, can you talk about the moral implications of this maid policy in Canada? What do you think it means for Canada's morality as a nation? What does the government care about ethics and morality? Can you talk about that perspective as a Christian?
Well, since Trudeau came in power, he's ripped us all of that as well. He has demolished that there's no more crosses in the schools that we used to have. There's no more of the religious, the background Christian religion classes in school. You can't really almost fish it in any government place either. You won't find them. So he has stripped us of our basic values and basic grounds of beliefs. So, people, I think, are just completely lost in this entirely wrongful permissiveness of sin, and if I want to take it that far enough, but that added with the drugs policy opened up to everybody. He's literally destroyed Canada, literally. I personally am still a Christian. I may not go to church and mass every Sunday. This is why I've been conflicting so long with my death, but not the death, because I'm not afraid of dying, but just by the end of my suicide, if we can call it that. But like I said, it is certainly not, in my opinion, in the government's end that it should end up in.
Well, they certainly shouldn't be promoting it or encouraging people to take that option. I think anyone, would agree with that. Just to be clear,
I spoke this week again with someone who's working in the social working, and everybody is so appalled and so discouraged that the wait times for somebody to be able to access psychology or social work to help them is minimal 3 years. 3 years. But in less than 30 days, you could be dead because you're just so depressed. You just can't find a solution, and you're left to yourself. But this same government doesn't find the resources. We've just lost. Apparently, it was a calculated loss of $300 million for Volvo battery company. That is, but they're not finding resources to have help for first line help for people to just. And sometimes before it gets to be a chronic problem, sometimes the solution may be very, very easy to just having access to someone for this one-time crisis that happens and can change everything. So everybody in the system is so down, morally so down, discouraged. So at any aspect of this, it's not looking good for at any aspect.
I know the UK is considering passing a euthanasia law. Would you warn the UK against doing that? Would you say that Canada is an example of where these kind of euthanasia laws perhaps lead to these terrible moral consequences, these kind of slippery slope argument of what happened to you, for example?
Definitely, there's already I don't know if it's called palliative for you guys as well. Just
Yeah.
well, okay. So that was already there, which is taking a couple of days more to bring it to get probably to the same level, but it's not as. And I mean, that in that case, you need to be in the hospital for a while, unless. I don't want in this to be judging the people that, with their own choice of their own life. This I believe in. People can choose for themselves. But for a government to have the control over this, that is the part that is wrong to me. And if you're
Just how quick the process is, that's another concern of yours, isn't it? That people could die so quickly, and they may regret that choice. We'll never know, or they may need help in other ways, as you say, but it just takes far too long. So I think, maybe you disagree with this, but the safeguarding and the kind of safety rails, as it were, on this policy, it's just not there. Is that accurate?
No, there was no background of any realism of what this would be taken to. To have come just shortly after the opening doors to drugs and everything else. I mean, it is gone and dropped this country to such a level of despair and 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 loss of every possible, like stone um people are completely lost with everything. First, like they already have no faith, recognition of anything anymore, so they don't know. They're lost in this part as well. They're already lost with the living cost is so high that the drugs opening, everybody's either, you already had a problem with the alcohol that was not even resolved, and now we're adding drugs to it. You see people are zombied out. They just, and then whenever they go and knock at doors, there's nothing. There's no one there to any door. So it's just a, yeah. And we're looking more and more like a cattle, a sheep just walking around, because there is nothing to be helping and guiding out at this point. Every single aspect of this entire country is going down. And this is just That's where we're all leading when we're walking towards like this. Like, I don't want to make it sound so dramatical, but it is. It is so bad down here now. It is so bad. Just again yesterday, they're talking on how all the teenagers are being brought into all the street gangs that is taken over the city of Montreal, basically, because the justice and the law system is again also so bad that the crimes go unpunished. But the crimes are severe. We're talking death and burning buildings, and people are trying to just find a way to move on. But when you have zero positive access to any of the help, they'll just try to live this minute how they can best. And so it's survival for everybody right now.
And what kind of support have you had beyond the government? Have there been other groups that have reached out to you? Have you had the opposition parties in Canada, the Conservatives and other people talk to you? What kind of support have you had from other people, if any?
No, even the other government parties, they've set out to say they would, and they didn't do any better. They didn't do any more. The only reason I've had I had the chance to be in a program that was existing before everything started going that bad, that got transferred to a provincial. They were basically at first run specifically for veterans. So, because I was in there and the people that were in there are still the same people, I am very lucky to be able to get help from them. But having to go and climb a new source of help today, it would just be waiting on the 3 years waiting list to see where it leads.
There was a clip recently going viral on Twitter featuring a euthanasia doctor in Canada, and she said that she'd killed over 400 people. She said that she enjoyed her job. It was the best job that she's ever had. I want to get your reaction to that clip.
Yeah, it was a bit hard to watch because even before the numbers, even before she's given her numbers, um, I was I was kind of a shock of the level of enthusiasm this person had, this doctor had, and I kept thinking at the same time, without knowing where that was leading to, I kept thinking, wow, I wish that the rest of the medical reform here in Canada would have that type of enthusiasm into trying to really help people. It's like we never meet that level of enthusiasm when it comes to trying to find the help to help people to live and find the ways for them to be able to go on living. So that part kind of surprised me a bit. Um, I have to tell you also, as I did before, Stephen. Like I I'm not judging anybody that is in need or wants to die because of the condition being too extreme. The one thing that in the film that you sent that I read or heard was that in her case, I don't know if it was always the case, but in this clip, she mentioned that most of the times, or that it was people choosing to use maid because they were able to choose the time of their death. Sometimes, mostly, like if it was going to be within a meaning of couple of days when they were gonna be dying. Anyway, so I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so this is not like, I'll get to my idea after, but it is one thing. I understand more when you're condemned to the question of days. I understand people wanting to maybe find the time, the peace, the moment to do it. The part that I don't understand is that it is a government law. The government should not have any implication in this. Okay, I don't think that the government has the right to facilitate this or um, make it a normal use of work when you are not even able to get the same attention level of enthusiasm or care for someone who wants to live. That's where I am. The problem I have.
We've talked before on another interview, and one of the things that people kept asking in the comments was, how can we help Christine? How can we help you? Is there any way that people at home can help you? Have you got any charity or foundation or something that they could support you with? I mean, is there anything they can do, or even just looking up your story? I don't know.
Well, I've told you that, Steve, before. I hate computers, and I'm not anything on Facebook. I'm not. I know many people have urged me to want to do it. Now, with the recent updates from this last months, every time I think it can go worse, well, it always does. I I don't know how to explain that, but it's not about money. I mean, for sure, money is always it's always good, but it's not about money. It's about just being, getting this thing done, and what it's gonna mean. I mean, for sure, this new this new diagnostic is making another toll. You know, when that gets confirmed, what the options are. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be if in UK you want to be voting this law in, I would suggest you first test it and try it on your politicians. You may avoid a lot of the situation we're in now.
I think that's a very good suggestion. One last question. What is it that, I mean, look, you've been through so much in your life, and I think genuinely one of the most, inspirational people in a way. I know that there's been so much hardness and trauma and everything, but, you have inspired so many people just by continuing going on fighting as you are. What is it that has kind of kept you going? I know, again, it's been a really terrible, awful journey, but you have also, as I said, inspired so many. So what is it that's really kept you going throughout all these years?
I don't know, Stephen. I'm trying to find myself the answer to this. I'd love to know why. Obviously, we'll never know. There's not a reason for it. I don't know if I'm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I just know I'm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't have a good answer.
No, it's not. It's not an easy. It's not an easy answer or easy question. I know that your wonderful dog might be part of it. Maybe.
I just try to be always positive, but I'd love to have I'd love really for it to be a message of God, and I have a higher point to have to do with all of this, but I must be very stupid or illiterate in the way that not understanding what the message is, because he keeps bringing some more to me. I don't know. I don't know, but this week, all of this, with all that's gone on, with you coming back with this subject, I am very serious about wanting to make a test and see, um, just even to prove how ridiculous it is that you can. How fast would it be really that I get this papers and this appointment, and how fast I could get this done? Aside from everything else that should be the priority. So I don't know if you want to try with me for us to do this and see, because I will do on my end going to the JJ hospital, and if even if it's the last thing I think I do, I think it should be done and proven.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want to watch more content, please subscribe to our new GBN America YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news.